Well, here we are. Believe it or not, I spent most of the morning playing with technology, trying to get it to work. And every time I took a step forward, I took two steps back. So, for example, I'm trying to use my GoPro to use as a webcam instead of my Logitech one because I don't like the blurry background. And now both of them aren't working. And now I'm using my webcam on my laptop to make it work. So, you just kind of have to learn how to roll with things. Uh, I didn't even get a chance to shave. So I apologize for looking so befuddled. But there's some exciting stuff coming down the road. And that's what we're talking about. Is the market coming back? I don't know. Are there buyers still in the business in the market? Yeah, lots of talking to do. So let's get really into it real quick. Crazy days. I spent most of the morning putting in a listing active, writing an offer, sending out another counter offer, talking to some other clients for another offer an offer that we have submitted about a counter. So it's been crazy hectic, which is crazy because everybody's like, not everybody, but a majority of you that are out there are thinking about holding off. Let's get into this real quick. I'm learning how to use the shift keys. So hang on, let's see if this works. There you go. That looks great. Talked about this earlier. Will the market crash or will the market not crash? Well, here in the Silicon Valley, even if it does crash, if the economy kind of crashes and we go into World War III or what have you, I don't see this happening, right? Any kind of metropolitan area that has a good, stable economy, multiple different types of industries pouring into it, real estate, technology, finance, biotech, construction, right? We have a very, very healthy economy in the Silicon Valley. Even though some people are frightened that they might lose their jobs, there's still more jobs to be taken. Right? What happens if the stock market crashes? Well, the stock market goes up and the stock market goes down. And yes, people will lose some jobs. And yes, that's a reason why you shouldn't buy. If you're fearing that you're going to lose your job, or that you're going to lose all the money out of your equity, but I'll tell you, that's already kind of happened already. I've been working with people from Facebook and Netflix and all the tech giants around here, and their stocks went down, and they're like, I'm out of the market. I don't have a down payment anymore. Well, yeah, you kind of do. You kind of have to work around it. But the thing is they were going to come in with 30, 40% down to be able to afford it. But now you can come in with a 5% or an FHA, which is 3.5% down, and you don't have to pay overages. But here's what's happening. Vito, there's less houses being sold. That's true. Buyers are being pickier, but sellers are being stubborn. I'm working with this house right now over in Morgan Hill, and we've been wanting to buy this house. It's in horrible condition. It needs a lot of work. I mean, I'm surprised. I don't know why they want to buy it, but they want to buy it because they see the land and they can fix it up and all that. I get it, but they went in $300,000 lower, and the seller's like, no, we'll wait. And then we came up $100,000, and they're like, no, you know what? We're going to be on vacation for a week, so we'll get back to you when we get back to you. And then today, I ring up the listing agent, and he says we have two other offers on table, and they're both over list price. So all the news that you're hearing about the market crashing, about all this other, and this is a house that's ready to fall over. It should be burned down. And if you're an insurance investigator and that house happens to burn down, it wasn't me. The whole idea, though, guys, is houses are selling. Not at the same clip, not at the massive overages, but also not at the same interest rate. So people are freaking out because of the interest rate. But now, if you think about it, is a good time to buy. Will the market come down more? Probably. But when the market comes down more buyers will enter the market. Investors will enter the market again. People are still buying houses. I know investors that are still buying houses right now. We're looking at buying some houses, right? We've targeted 5 different houses right now. I've targeted 4 or 5 other ones that I'm massaging right now to see if I can work with them. Buyers are still out there. When the market crashes, if the market crashes, like it says right here, whatever reason it is that crashes the market, probably is not going to happen here in Silicon Valley. If it does crash, it'll happen in Modesto, Stockton, Fresno, Bakersfield, in those areas, all the way out to, Las Vegas. Everybody knows that Las Vegas is the canary in the coal mine. Once Vegas collapses, as well as Austin now, that's when you're going to realize that the market is collapsing. That's when it starts taking the major inroads. I don't see that happening, not for a while. Mostly because over the last 2 years, we bought houses at a huge clip and for over what they're paid. But every house that was bought has equity in it, right? At least 10, 15%. And then they're at a 3% interest rate on average. So they would be foolish for them to let that go. What would happen is they would probably rent that house out and go buy another house. So the inventory is going to be lower. So, but that's right here, right? We talked about inventory being low as the main reason why homes will not crash. The pricing will not crash. Volume has crashed by 50% as of last year. But if you look over the last 5 to 10 years, we're back to normal. So all these reasons you see here for reducing supply will keep the price solid. There's going to be a lot less home buyers in the next coming years, or in the next coming year, unless there's a massive crash and the market completely implodes, right? There's like a 10% chance that the economy crashes for whatever reason globally, or we go to World War III, if you believe that's what's going on over there, or we go into famine because we can't get eggs or whatever it is this week, because, it could be eggs, it could be meat, it could be cereal, it could be whatever, all sorts of reasons. I don't see the market coming down. It could in other areas where they're supporting cities to major metropolitan areas, right? You look inside Austin, which is not doing super well right now, but the inventory is kind of coming down. We'll go into that in a minute. You see the market come down a little bit, inventory comes down a little bit, and the market stabilizes. Just like you saw the inflation, just like what inflation was, finally got to the inflation part, and we finally got to a point where inflation is coming down. Not to where we want it, obviously, but that's because everybody's saying that the recession is going to happen in 2023. We'll see about that. All right. Rates have gone down consistently over the last few months, right? I think we were at 7 in, when was it? Yeah, around here, October. And then we jumped up to 7.21. That really just slowed the market down, but now we're back. I just put a house on the market today. It's a listing, brand spanking new. And not even an hour later, I got a call to go see it. They want to see it at 1:30. They're like, I want to see this house, because rates are down, not to where they were last year, 2.5%, 3%. It's probably not going to happen for another, I don't know, 100 years. Who knows? But we're not going to see 2.3, probably not going to see 4 for a very long time. Probably going to see 5, 5.5. As a matter of fact, somebody's inside my computer. I believe we're going to see the rates go up next week. On the 14th, I think the Feds testify. I think it's going to go back up to close to 7, but then you're going to see it trickle down. In March, April timeframe, we're going to see it 5, 5.5%, which is going to ignite the market again, right? Houses have slowed down, right? It says it right there. Existing home sales slumped nine months in a row. It's actually good that we're doing that. Talked about gas. I didn't actually even look today, to be honest with you. I just been kind of crazy. 3.99 is the lowest. Wow, it actually went crazy. It was below 4. All right. People are saying that the next 6 to 9 months is going to be the most difficult time for sellers to be able to move somewhere else, to be able to go somewhere and buy another house and sell their house at the same time. It's going to be very difficult because timing is very difficult. All the houses that I'm looking at right now are homes where people, I saw a stat saying 74% of the homes for sale, maybe it's 47%, for sale right now are vacant, meaning people just up and left. Whatever they did, they up and moved up, they up and moved down, they up and moved out of whatever they are, right? Why is that? Because they can afford to take that loan, pay that loan, and go get another house and rent it or buy another house somewhere else. And then if it doesn't sell or sell for what they want, they'll take it off the market and rent it. That's what people are doing right now. They have the options because they're not freaking out like they did back in 2008 because they bought toxic loans. There's no toxic loans, right? This is going to be a fun one to look at. 10 best markets 2023. Let's take a quick look and see what this says here. Oh, Lord, I did it wrong. All right. Buyers in these housing markets are more likely to take FHA and VA loans. I think it meant sellers, because buyers always want to use the VA and the FHA and USDA loans. They're probably not going to be. Let me get rid of this nasty video. So FHA, VA, and USDA have stigma because there's certain habitability things, and when people get spoiled and they can sell a house as is, and they don't have to disclose anything, and they know that that foundation has issues, or that it has termites, they can disclose it, but they don't have to have inspections. And then when the market gets bad, then this buyer will turn around and sue the seller because they didn't disclose all this stuff, right? So that's why I always recommend that my sellers have inspections done. And if the seller's not providing it, I always make my buyers get an inspection because I need them to know what they're buying. Because I'd rather them spend $750 on an inspection and know what they're buying versus spending $500,000 to $1.5 to $2 million and get a house that's ready to fall over. Hartford, Connecticut. Average price is $372,000. El Paso, Texas. Now, El Paso, I think, is wow. Louisville, Kentucky. My sergeant major, when I knew him, he was a first sergeant, but my sergeant major lives out in that way. That's a nice town. Worcester, Massachusetts. Buffalo, New York. Augusta, Richmond, Georgia, and South Carolina. I tell you what, guys, that's a nice little area. It's really pretty out there. Grand Rapids, Michigan. Columbia, South Carolina. That is an awesome little town. Columbia, When my kids were small, we went there. We had a blast. And that's where they have the Liberty Bell in that state. Did you know that there is a Liberty Bell or a replica of a Liberty Bell in every state? There you go. So now you know. Chattanooga, Tennessee. I've been to Chattanooga. It's an okay town. And when they say Georgia, it's because it's the metropolitan area. There's Alabama, Georgia, and Tennessee in a T, and Chattanooga's in the Tennessee portion of it. Went fishing there with my brothers and my dad. Toledo, Ohio. Nobody wants to move to Ohio, Aaron, in case you're wondering. So that's more clickbaity. I'm telling you, where people are moving right now are places that don't have income tax. The majority of the people that I speak with here in California, when they move out of state, they tend to move to Washington, Tennessee, Texas. There's Wyoming. There's a bunch of states. Florida, obviously. There's a bunch of states that don't have income tax because they can save on that. But you have to do a complete survey on everything: cost of living, insurance, gas, roads, what other taxes, how much more expensive is property tax, So just understand that. Okay, let me see what else we have. Go into the numbers real quick. Remember I said that inventory is going to come down? Inventory's come down by 50% of where we topped out. 688 is where we topped out, and now we're 321. So we're less than 50% of what we saw back in August. That's inventory. People are pulling houses off market. Houses are being sold. And also less people are putting houses on market now versus March, April, May timeframe. I have a couple of houses that we're going to put up in that time. So that's the normal time. When pre-COVID, it used to be the selling season for us was March, April, May. We would sell the majority of houses then. That's when the big rush came because everybody was like getting ready to move, because at that time, school is going to get out and they can move their kids for the summer and then get them all situated, and it would have been a good thing. Over COVID, there was no stop. It turned into a firestorm. We saw just rates go up or prices go up. So we're seeing this come down. If you look back at the volume of houses sold within Santa Clara County, within some specific cities, you're going to see that those houses were sold at about that same volume. So it's going back to normal. The numbers that you saw outside here were outliers. It was outliers because, where is it? You see right here, that was 2000. That's when rates were 2%, 2.5%, 3%, right? You couldn't afford not to buy a house. All right. All right. Last year, we had 161 closes. This week, last year. This week, we had 57. Way less than half. On the average, though, we're about half of where we were before. Okay. And then last year, average sales price was 1.55, and we've slipped down to 1.475. So not even 100 grand, depending on the area, right? Because down here, I've seen houses slip down about 100 to 150, but you go over to Cambrian, Willow Glen, Almaden Valley, those areas, they haven't really lost a lot of value. There's still multiple offers on those homes over there. The list price ratio is 105%. That's not right. Let's take a look. Okay, I'm going to get you into the secret sauce. This is what I look at every week. This is a new report I do every week. Let's see if I can bring it up so you can see it. 98. I don't know why I had that. All right. So that was the list price to sales price ratio. That was the max. That was the least. 98%. So typically I do a quick math thing. I knew I was missing something, but maybe I needed coffee. That was, what was it? 98? All right. Now, if you look at the ratios versus last year on average were 100% plus or minus, with a little bit of slip versus 108. Last year, I was selling homes at 12 to 15% over list price on average. That was my claim to fame. That was my negotiation standard. So again, 120 and then 80%. And then, I didn't even do that. Let's see. We can do a quick look. Can't now. Damn it. All right. I'll get that for you next week. That's a lie. And we don't like to lie on this channel. 25 days on market on average versus last year's 16. Not that far apart, guys. Right? I don't know what it is in different areas. I'm just showing you inventory. Pendings, we had 54 houses go into contract last week, which is a lot better than it's been for, I don't know, a month and a half. That's probably because anticipation, people might be thinking that they want to buy houses now while the rates are low. They can get into contract, lock in at 6.37. I've actually seen it lower. And now I'm hearing that people are buying loans, buying points to lower it down to 5.5, so that at least they have cushion, right? 5.5 right here, right? That's with fees and points, 2,400, includes 0.75 points. Again, that depends on the type of loan, your credit, the reserves, all sorts of different things. We had 31 houses pull out of the market last week. On average, we're having 33 houses fall out of contract, out of being active for sale. They're withdrawn, expired, canceled, taken off market. Okay. And last week, it was the same thing. Where there's 2 cities that only increased in inventory. Was Tampa last week and then Nashville last week. It wasn't a major tick. It was by 1. This week it went down and Tampa went down. This week, Cape Coral went up and Jacksonville went up. But again, by not much, right? 2303. Well, it's the highest it's been in Jacksonville. 689 is definitely not the highest. Knoxville actually has shrunk in inventory quite a bit. 760, I think, was the max. Phoenix is going to be one of those places. A lot of people moved out to Phoenix because it was, the place to move. I've had a lot of friends move out there. A lot of my clients moved out there. They like it. It's great. But Airbnb. I have videos on Airbnb, why that's going to hurt areas like Phoenix and Las Vegas. Las Vegas has been shrinking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 weeks in a row, just like Phoenix. So people are pulling houses off market. The holiday season, right? Holiday season, the last thing you want to do is have people traipsing through your house, stealing your little ornaments off the Christmas tree or what have you. It's the last thing people want to have happen. And it's not the best timing because if you wait until March, you can get stuff fixed. And that's when the market really starts up again. Chicago's coming down. Austin's coming down. So there you have it. Do my little shift 1. So I'm learning how to do keyboard shortcuts. Now that I'm used to the StreamYard, I'm getting back into, see if that works. I can't get it to work now. Shift 1. Shift 1. No, it's not working. There. All right. So there you go. Market's doing okay. Market's stabilizing. Volume is down. When you see housing crashing, the house market is crashing. It's because the volume of homes being sold has gone down considerably by half. If you see, 2023 is going to be a disaster. Quite frankly, it could be, but that's telling the future, and we don't tell the future here. We just talk about the numbers and what's going on and talk about the deals that we're putting together and make those analogies so that we can talk about it. That's why I go to my office meetings every Tuesday, which are kind of, boring because people like tend to talk and I don't like to listen to them talk about their listings, but I do want to hear the stories of transactions and other people's points of view, because nobody, and you know what? I heard it somewhere else. People in real estate are liars. I don't want to be a liar. I don't want to be a liar. I don't tell you you should, but you need to buy right now. I tell people, if this makes sense for you to buy now, buy now. I'm busy, right? It makes sense for a lot of my clients to buy now. I tell them, if the market crashes, the market crashes. Now is the time to buy because there's less competition. However, every time we look at a house, it tends to have 2 or 3 house offers on it. Not 17, but that's just because the market's back. The market's back, guys. For a while, maybe, I don't know, maybe like the end of December, we'll see it crash, or maybe next week after the feds testify, we'll see it, dwindle down into nothing. All right. I'm going to leave you with a really exciting video. So with that, actually, is there anything else I want to say? No. Nope. I got to go shave. All right. Hey, we'll see you next week.